So, Nicole, welcome. I have been looking forward to our conversation since we connected. Um, and I would love to get started by you telling what happened with your near death experience. I cannot wait to hear the story.
Okay, so mine is a little different
Mm-hmm.
because it was shared. So, I'm gonna back up first. It's almost like when people go through this, they know something's coming.
Mm,
Because I had started preparing, like I had started meditating a lot,
mm-hmm.
being in nature. Like I felt something coming my way.
Yeah.
Um, and then one night I had a dream, and in my dream, um, my brother had died,
Mm,
and it was horrific. I woke up in a panic, and it was the middle of the night. I had no phone calls from anybody and just took it as a bad dream.
yeah.
So I went back to bed and I woke up at 7 in the morning um, to a rambling message from my parents.
Mm,
And I immediately called back and Um, my mom was on the phone, and all she could tell me was, your brother, she was crying like
mm,
horribly. So she mentioned my brother's name, who I had the dream about, and that they he had been flighted for life. And she was bawling, and she was going to find my other brother so they could drive to the hospital. They were in Kansas and I lived in Arizona at the time. So I I said, "Mom, just get safe and keep me updated." And I hung up and I felt like I couldn't do anything. But I knew the one thing that I could do was to send him love.
yeah.
So I dropped in meditation and a prayer. And I basically said, if there is a God out there, I just
Mm-hmm.
want my brother to feel all my love before he passes away.
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
and it was so weird because you would think I would be in this panic, but something took over me and I was so calm.
Yeah.
And I just dropped in meditation and I was just sending energy, sending my love. And all of a sudden, I lost feeling in one of my arms and my rib cage, um, his lungs collapsed. So I felt like my rib cages like were doing funny things.
Oh wow.
Yes.
Wow.
Um, so I just stayed with that and I
So you were
continued.
feeling his pain and what he was going through.
Yes.
And you were in Arizona and he was in Kansas.
Yes.
Oh, wow.
So I was energetically attached to him.
Yes. Yes.
And so I was feeling the exact same things that he was feeling.
And
Um,
if anybody doubts, and I know some do, that we are not all one and we're not connected, that to me is just undeniable proof.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
That's one of the things I learned from this
Yes.
story is we truly all are so connected.
We are.
Yeah, and I mean, I do distance appointments now so
Mm-hmm.
I can connect with people very deeply on an energetic level.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful to be able to hold that space.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, so I just continued to send and I actually started to see things too then
Mm.
after I connected with the physical pain. I saw the hospital room, I saw the number, I saw the carpet. So like my soul traveled to be
Mm.
with his.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And I was sitting in meditation all this time, and I remember finally I noticed like my legs were asleep, and I
Yeah.
I laughed and I decided I should go lay down and,
Mm-hmm.
continue to tap in because it was also my way to know he was still here and okay.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Mm.
so after our souls connected, um, I actually lost all feeling in my legs and my arms.
Mm-hmm.
And then it kept traveling up. I remember my heartbeat stopped
Mm.
and it freaked me out. And I was brought back into my body for a little bit. And then I just started breathing again and getting into that just relaxed space
Mm-hmm.
where I was sending loving energy. And I left my body out of the top of my head and I entered a tunnel, which a lot of people who've had near death experiences talk about.
Yes, I was
Um,
gonna say that that seems like a common theme with like near death
yes,
experiences, right? Absolutely.
yeah, absolutely. And the colors
Mm-hmm.
were the most magnificent thing I had ever
Yes.
seen. As I was traveling through, I just saw colors in a way that you don't see colors here on Earth.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I went through a tunnel. I saw past lives.
Mm.
And I still don't know if those were my brother's past lives or my past lives.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and I thought it was really weird. The funny part is my consciousness was still the same. And I'm very curious. And so I was like, well, that's really weird because I was not taught that you were reincarnated. So why am I being shown
Yes.
this? So
Yes.
even in that space, I was questioning that.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
And that's fascinating that you were questioning that while you were in that space. Yeah.
yeah, and I continued to question. Um, but yeah, then I met a presence which I would explain as God.
Mm-hmm.
It was shown to me as a big ball of golden energy.
Mm-hmm.
And I was drawn in, and I remember arguing again with God.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm not worthy.
Mm.
I think the church tends to make people feel like they're not worthy of God's love because
Yes.
they have sinned and they have done bad.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember like arguing with God and being like, I don't deserve this because the amount of love that was emanating
Mm.
was something I don't know if I've ever felt.
Mm-hmm.
It's just a different kind of love. And I felt held, I felt completely loved and supported, um, and very confused by the whole experience. But
Yes.
there's no words for what I truly felt
Yeah.
in that moment. I then, I don't, I met my grandma who had passed
Mm.
and my brother's son who had passed
Mm.
on the other side. And it was interesting because my brother's son passed as a baby, but here he was like 2 or 3 and he was holding my grandma's hand. And he just looked at me and he said, tell my dad to go back. He has more to live for.
Oh, Nicole. Wow.
Yeah, it was wild because then I was just dropped right back into my body.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it's hard to describe because I was in such a weird, almost like a trance state while all
Mm-hmm.
of this was going on. I was just so calm.
Mm.
But then there was a being who was there with me. I don't know who it was, but, and this is absolutely wild. Um, but I had my veins turned green
Yeah.
and I had a ball of energy come out of my hand. And this
Mm.
being um, told me that my brother would survive. And then they told me what to do with the ball of energy.
Mm.
And mind you, I had no idea at this point what had happened to him.
Right.
But it took the same arm that he had injured. Um, he pulled his arm out of a glass and it cut his radial artery.
Mm.
So, not good at all. Um, and it cut his radial nerve and everything in his arm.
Mm-hmm.
So, the green, I think, was healing energy
Yes.
going to his arm. And then they told me what would heal first and what, so they had me go the pinky and work my way in. Um, and they also told me that he would have like one more close encounter, but that he would survive.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and he did. He healed. He did have one more. He had 9 or 10 things of blood put back into his body, and his body rejected it. So he had one more little episode, but then he came out of it and healed completely.
When you came out of this, what were your initial thoughts?
It's so weird. And I have felt so much guilt around this because
Mm.
my brother suffered horrendously and had a lot of pain for a long time. And for
Mm-hmm.
me, it was the most magnificent
Mm.
healing experience I have ever, and
Yeah.
clarification around things and just a knowing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I wasn't even concerned about him because they had told me he would be okay.
Because you knew that he
I
was going to
knew.
heal. Yes, you just knew. That's right.
Yeah. And I was it was the most beautiful thing I've ever experienced. One of them, for sure.
So then, did you tell anybody?
Well, and that's the thing. I tried.
Yeah.
Uh, this is all bizarre to people. It was bizarre to me.
Yeah.
And I can totally understand people not believing it.
Mm-hmm.
I tried to explain it, but the words didn't come. Like this
Mm-hmm.
happened in 2012, and I
Yeah.
still cannot find the words to adequately describe what happened to me.
Yeah.
Um, so honestly, I haven't even sat down and told my family the entirety of the experience.
Really.
We've had moments where we have finally started discussing it. I've had 2 times I've discussed it with my parents, and I've discussed it with my brother a bit.
Does he know the magnitude of like your experience and that you actually shared this with him?
I don't know if he does, but he
Yeah.
will after this.
Yes, I think. Yes, he does now. Absolutely.
Yeah. Um, because I've asked him, like,
Yeah.
what was your experience with it? And he remembers seeing bright lights,
Mm-hmm.
but that is all he can recall.
So, how do you think that worked? Like, do you think that you guys were there together or experiencing it together? Or, I mean, were you one at that time? Like, how do you feel like
If
that
I could
happened?
describe it, I think our souls traveled together.
Together. Yeah.
Um, and I was with him
Yeah.
at a time he needed me most.
Yeah.
And I think I've probably lived as a healer many lifetimes.
Yes.
And I feel like our family is meant to evolve this lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's done through traumatic things.
Yes.
And I think we had some kind of contract that in this lifetime, he would help me awaken to my spiritual gifts, and I would help be the middleman to healing in some capacity or being used to help heal him. So I'm very grateful that I have the family I do. They've been very supportive, but they also know me, and they knew this experience like altered me.
Yeah.
Um, and they could tell it was no joke because of the things I was saying when I flew into Omaha.
Mm-hmm.
I remember just telling my parents, he's going to be fine. It's all going to be okay. This was predestined to happen. Um, yeah, it was just,
What were their reactions when you said that?
uh, I feel like my dad knew,
Mm-hmm.
um, and believed me,
Mm-hmm.
but was still worried.
Sure.
And I think my mom too, also confused probably because this probably wasn't a side of me they had ever seen.
Yeah.
And even when he went back into surgery, I remember just meditating, and it was so easy for me to connect with his energy
Mm.
after that experience.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember it was really weird that the doctor came out of the surgery, and instead of asking for the parents, he asked for the sister.
Really?
Yeah. So there were like just little weird things that happened, and I've asked my brother, like, did you say anything, or
Mm-hmm.
but he hadn't.
I've never heard of a shared like near death experience. I think that is fascinating.
There's
Um,
not very many.
no, right.
Yeah.
Especially when you weren't there at the time of the accident. You were like states away
Yes.
and you had no accident. You were at home.
Hmm.
And that is incredible to me. And by the way, thank you so much for sharing that. Listening to near death experiences, that's actually when I started questioning my, well, what I'd known my whole life. I was traveling a lot and I would put on a podcast and I heard my first near death experience and I was very intrigued. And then I started listening to more and more and there's they're not all alike, of course, but there's a common theme.
Yeah.
And the light that you see and the colors. I've heard that numerous times. The colors are not anything like you see on Earth.
Yeah.
And I just that's when I really started questioning what I'd been taught my whole life. Right. And then started digging more and reading more. What happened next? Like, how did that change the trajectory of your life?
It absolutely changed everything.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I was so angry for a while
Mm.
because I felt like everything that I had been told was a
Yeah.
lie.
Yeah.
Um, and it took me a really long time to ground into a better space of what my truth is, and based on my own experiences.
Yeah.
And people don't like your truth too, a lot of
No,
times.
they do not. I agree.
So, but I've also learned that not living in my truth and trying to appease
Yeah.
others kills me slowly.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm here for a reason.
Yes.
So, I have to be true to myself.
Yeah.
But it after that experience, I realized that the relationship, he was a fabulous man,
Mm-hmm.
but the relationship I was in, I was following the trajectory of you go to college, you get a good job, you get a house, then you get married, then you have
Mm-hmm.
babies. Like I
Mm-hmm.
was just following that,
Yeah.
and I just had to be real after the
Yes.
experience.
Yes. Yes.
My job, I was working as a case manager. I was going to school and getting my master's to be
Mm-hmm.
a licensed clinical social worker. And I actually dropped out of school. And I stayed in my job for a while, but eventually quit.
Now, did everybody around you think you were crazy?
Oh,
For
yeah, absolutely. They were probably like, what is this woman doing? Like, her life was all set up. She had a beautiful house, a great man.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Um,
Going to
and it,
school. She dropped out of school. Yeah.
yes,
Mm-hmm.
but it just was not the path I was intended to live.
Yeah.
Um, so I started over. I
Mm-hmm.
started over, and I'm still learning. Life is quite a journey. Um, but I've continued to have very mystical experiences, and for a long time I wanted to live. I wanted to be back there and not here because
I've
it
heard that.
was. Ugh,
Mm-hmm.
it's hard to explain. I didn't want to kill myself, but I
Mm-hmm.
didn't want to be here.
Yeah.
So I'm learning now to build a life um, that is just based in my truth and what I'm supposed to be doing and loving my children and loving people and
Yeah.
spreading truth as much as I can.
Mm-hmm. So, what is truth? How do you help people find truth?
Well, I think that's an individual thing.
Yeah.
Like everybody's truth, and I think it's funny because we are not or I should say a large majority of people are not following their truth. They're not listening to what their needs are. Um, so, yeah, when people come to me, I tap into what's going on and try to really validate, what they're feeling, what they're wanting in life, and help them move into a place where they're more aligned. Because I think when people embody that, they have a lot of more love to give out into the world, instead of the hate that's inside and just fuming out.
Yes. Yes. So, what major um, reason do you see that people do not follow their truth?
Fear.
Mm-hmm. That
And,
comes up so much.
I read this quote, and I'm going to butcher it now, but it was basically about you cannot learn how to live unless you learn how to die.
Mm-hmm.
And
I don't
like,
think you butchered that at all.
it's something along those lines,
Yes.
but
Mm-hmm.
when you are no longer afraid of death,
Yeah.
like you are free to do anything and everything you want.
Yes. Yes. That is one thing I noticed when I was in religion or even just growing up, right? I was afraid to die, which is ironic in a sense because we're taught that we're going to go to a physical heaven, right?
Yeah.
And we should not be afraid to die. However, I believe that we're, conditioned and we're in a state of fear, shame, and guilt with that, patriarchal system.
Hmm.
But once I started healing from that, and once I, like, the veil was thinning, I guess, and I could see things for what they were and like see things for what they are, I'm no longer afraid to die at
Yeah.
all. And it is, you make such a great point because you really can just live your life. And fear is, I mean, death is nothing to fear.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And you live a lot differently when,
You do. And it's from a state of freedom and joy and wanting what's best for humanity and a state of love. It really is a beautiful thing.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to say, it's uh, also balance is good because some fear
Mm,
is needed.
I agree. Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we do have things to fear here. So that's also one thing I
Yes.
learned because after this experience, I remember my one of my really good friends, she's like, "You are gonna die from a serial killer." Like, because
I've
I
been
was
told
I had
that.
no more fear.
Yes, I
So
know.
it was like I would go have a conversation with anybody and
Yes.
everybody,
Mm-hmm.
and I wasn't afraid of what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Um, and I've obviously learned that there are still
Sure.
some things you need to be careful about.
Yes.
And balance is always a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I agree. I do. So, how do you help people find their truth? Now, I know you mentioned that earlier. Um, so what steps do you take?
I will say the freest thing you can do that costs you no money
Yeah.
is meditation.
Mm-hmm.
And people absolutely hate it. But so when you sit in your stuff,
Yes.
you are able to unwind and figure out and digest. So, number one, if you have 5 minutes, start with
Mm-hmm.
5 minutes and sit with yourself and start to expand that. It will do wonders for you by clearing your own stuff.
I tell people when they start to meditate or if they're interested in it, in the beginning, you're going to feel like you're doing it wrong,
Yeah.
right?
Well, people always tell me, like, I can't stop thinking.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm like, you might think for 40 days straight, but you're actually thinking about stuff that you try not to.
Yes.
And so it's your natural way of figuring out,
Mm-hmm.
especially with electronics and, us being attached to something.
Mm.
There's so much information coming our way.
Yes.
So even just taking time to filter out what is true to you, what
Mm-hmm.
makes no sense, what you can throw away, like it is crucial.
Yes.
Um, so I meditate, I won't say daily. Sometimes I do walking meditations
Mm-hmm.
because walking and art are also ways to sit with yourself and be
Mm-hmm.
with some movement. Uh, I do I do a lot of energetic movement, breath, and I do in person and distance Reiki appointments
Mm-hmm.
because just any moment people can be with themselves in stillness.
Yeah.
That is the opposite of the way our world works.
Yes.
And it does absolute wonders for people.
So explain what Reiki actually does.
So, Reiki's a stress reduction and relaxation technique,
Mm-hmm.
and people basically come in and they lay down. Um, and this is the way I think of it. Since I had my shared near death experience, every time I will say a little prayer, but I connect with that godly energy that I felt because it was love. And it sounds corny, but love heals. It truly does because
Yes.
people do not feel seen, heard.
Mm-mm.
So just giving people a space to be held, and it's hands-on healing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a very light touch, and I channel that energy. Um, and it's so interesting. Sometimes a lot of people fall asleep and snore really loud,
I could see
which
that.
is totally normal.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's a lot of different sensations that people are not normally used to. They'll feel heat or cold. I've had people where it feels like emotion is lifting out of them.
Mm.
A lot of people describe feeling lighter afterwards. Sometimes people need to be grounded, so sometimes they'll feel very heavy.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes people cry, sometimes they jerk. Um, but it's all a way to get emotions and processed, and
Yes.
a flow of energy back into spaces that maybe got clogged with your own stuff, or
Yeah.
even stuff from the outside world.
Because we are energy beings.
We are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like that's what it's about.
Hmm.
And how long so did you start doing Reiki after the near death experience or the shared near death
Yeah.
experience?
So
Mm-hmm.
interestingly enough, I, of course, I was fearless, and I was downtown Omaha, and and this was at the hospital. Um, and I just went walking, and I found this bookstore. I went in, and it was a lady with two hands and a ball of
Mm-hmm.
energy in between. So I bought the book,
Mm-hmm.
and I immediately started reading because I wanted to understand what had happened to me.
Mm-hmm.
And they talked about spiritual healing and Reiki.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I found a Reiki master who actually had a lot in common with me,
Mm-hmm.
in some of the things she had experienced, and
Mm.
I started classes. Let's see, that happened in October and in June. I took my first class in 2012
Wow.
and have been practicing it since.
Yeah. I so my first Reiki experience. So I was in the closet doubting my whole life. Nobody knew. And spiritual awakening and realizing that our conditioning, I mean, well, I just realized what it was, right? It was
Mhm.
conditioning and programming. So I was traveling and of course, I was introduced to the emotion code and the body code first. And I'd had a few sessions, remote sessions, and just through studying and different podcasts, learning what energy healing was. And I learned about Reiki. So I was fascinated with the thought of it. So I was out of town. Again, nobody knew any of this. So I made myself an appointment. And you just talking about being fearless. I was fearless. I saw danger in nothing. And I went to this Reiki session, which wasn't probably in the best part of town. But I said, okay, Spirit, if you've
Guide
got me
me.
here, I'm going to get out and this is going to be a great experience. And it was. I mean, it was amazing. And so I had like a blindfold or a blindfold over my eyes and did not know how it worked. And I told um the lady, I said, look, I said, I've never experienced this. This is my first time. I gave her a little bit of my story. And I could feel the energy moving through my body. Like it
Yeah.
tingled. Just
Yeah.
and that's how like I, experienced it. And I mean I could just feel the tingle like through my body. And so when we finished, I told her what I was feeling. She said, yeah, that's the energy. And
Hmm.
so it was fascinating. And I was
Yeah.
safe and
It's,
everything was fine.
yeah. People are so afraid of it.
Yeah.
And again, like, I get it because I don't know how open I would have been to this
I
if
wouldn't have
I wouldn't
been.
have experienced what I
Yeah,
did.
exactly.
Uh, but I find it interesting. People come to me like as a last resort, or, they've tried everything with the
Yes.
doctors. And I
Mm-hmm.
really believe Reiki could be major preventative medicine for people.
I agree completely. Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, they're even finding with like research, like biofields.
Mm-hmm.
So you can have a wound, and say you have an alcoholic parent,
Mm-hmm.
and there's that wound, and it continues to be in your field.
Yes.
And then maybe you're a people pleaser because you're always trying to fix that, or um, and then it starts magnifying in people's lives.
Yep.
But instead of that, opens you up to something and it pushes it further into, say, the muscles or the
Mm-hmm.
tissues.
Mm-hmm.
And then you still don't deal with it. And then it goes to an organ and disease sets in.
Yes. Exactly.
So, I mean, doing a simple practice where all you're doing is laying down and being in a relaxed state,
Yeah.
I don't know why more people don't do it.
Because I guess I'll say here in the States, we are taught to rely so heavily on the medical
Yeah.
system. And if we have an ailment or disease, or we get diagnosed with a disease, it's, well, we really are taught that we're just our physical body and that's it.
Yeah.
And that it has nothing to do with the energy, but we don't even know that we're energy beings, right?
Yeah.
And when when people talk about the energy in your body, or that of course we're energy beings, they just think it's like an abstract silly thought.
Hmm.
And the whole time is because of that dense or stagnant energy in our body that's been there from a wound, like you said, this just this whole time, and wreaking havoc on our bodies.
Yeah.
But I feel like that more and more people are being educated.
Well, and I did a training today on getting Reiki into more of the systems,
Mm.
healthcare,
Mm-hmm.
hospice, things like that.
Yes.
And there's just so much it could do. Um,
Yes.
and they do have research now backing it up. It is
Mm-hmm.
client reported, but it is being proven to be very beneficial
Yes.
with anxiety, with emotions, with spiritual issues, with pain management.
Yeah.
So there's just an overall on what it can do for you. And I
Mm-hmm.
do think as they continue to research it, that there will be more and more acceptance
Yes.
and an openness for it.
I agree. I do. And I have heard how some medical systems, they are adopting, modalities like Reiki.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of integrative medicine, and
Mm-hmm.
they are definitely using it as a complementary service.
Mm-hmm.
And it's available in a lot of hospitals.
Yeah.
So that's exciting. And I hope to see that continue to grow.
Yes. So do you find in your clients that you work with after a Reiki session, if they continue um, to, I guess, maybe subject themselves to the same patterns, like unhealthy patterns, which, I mean, and it could be worry, it can be, I mean, really anything.
Yeah.
Does the pain come back, or the illness, or what anxiety, whatever it is that, they came to you for, it seems to come back, doesn't it?
Absolutely. I think what Reiki does is it has a capacity to bring more awareness to
Mm,
things that they can work on and
yeah.
heal and change, because that's with anything. If
Yes.
you keep feeding the dark side of yourself, then you're going to get that.
Yeah.
And I always give my clients 110% when they're with me, but I also leave it at that because I know, even for myself, if I want huge changes in life, I'm responsible for it.
Yes. Yes. And that's just, I mean, a perfect, like, just day to day example. If someone went on a diet, lost weight, started getting healthier, but then you go back to your unhealthy ways of eating, the weight's going to come back.
Hmm.
Just like, like negative or dense energy or unhealthy, like just patterns, that all is going to come back in your body.
It's so interesting because I think too, a major force is the mind
Mm-hmm.
and
Mm-hmm.
what we think. And I have said this so many times over the years, and it's advice that I take for myself. But if you treat yourself like you would your best friend or your child,
Yes.
you would free yourself from so much and
You're
you would have
so
a lot more energy
Mm-hmm.
to do things that you enjoyed and loved.
Exactly.
Because yeah, all these patterns and these, shame, guilt, like we were saying, you do have the capacity to let those go and have joy and abundance and health and happiness.
Yes.
So that's a big part of healing. Absolutely.
So, of course, we're talking about like energy and Reiki, how it helps the body near the middleman and all this stuff. So, we are energy beings. I think that ties in to obviously, well, everything like the earth and the
Yes.
trees and the plants, and like we're
Mhm.
all connected, and we are all energy. And that also ties into the universe and the planets and the moon. Do you agree with that?
100%.
Yeah.
I mean, just like we are all one, that
Yeah.
doesn't stop at, that goes to animals, that goes to trees, that there's this whole collective energy,
Yeah.
um, that when you awaken, you can tap into it and use it to your advantage.
Yeah.
If certain things are going on in the world, astrologically or in the celestial realms,
Yes.
you can use that to your advantage. Even just like we just had the eclipse.
Mm-hmm.
I very rarely have big events or travel planned around
Mm.
eclipse. And it's because the energy is absolutely chaotic
Yeah.
and people are irritable. Um, and we have high winds here in Kansas all the time.
I was about to
I
bring that up. How windy
Yeah,
things get, like in an eclipse or around an eclipse. Yeah.
yeah. And it's actually science based. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know, when you don't have as much heat coming off the sun, the temperatures change. It changes the atmospheric pressure,
Mm.
which causes this crazy winds. And symbolically, winds are meant to clear your
Mm.
energy field. They're meant to invite change and um, unexpected things, which could be good
Yes.
or bad. Who knows? But yes, the earth has properties that are meant to help you in the healing world as well.
So you have a new moon group, right?
Yes.
So tell me about that.
So it is international.
Mm-hmm.
I have a woman that I met at the International Center of Reiki Training Conference,
Mm-hmm.
and we just hit it off. And I've helped her. She's from the UK, um, And I've helped her heal some stuff here. And then I went to the UK
Oh,
and she
wow.
helped me heal some stuff there, which it's
Mm-hmm.
interesting. I was shown in a meditation that I would go to Glastonbury, and I was like, there is no way.
Yeah.
That is never going to be in my existence.
Yeah.
But it happened,
Oh,
and she was
wow.
a big part of that.
Mm-hmm.
So we've worked together on clearing the land, which is a whole
Mm.
different topic, but and tapping into collective energy,
Yeah.
um, as well as feminine wisdom.
Mm.
So
Mm.
we in our group, we do energetic movement and breath. We do activations based on what. So, like the new moon was in Aquarius. We did a new
Mm-hmm.
moon Aquarius activation to use the energy, and we go over kind of again how to use that and what to stay away from,
Mm-hmm.
as well as the light and the shadow aspects of it. So we meet with a group over Zoom. We have
Wow.
such a wonderful group, and do that once a month.
Mm-hmm. So how many are in the group?
I think we have, so we have a set 15
Mm-hmm.
who are doing the whole year, but it's open for
Mm-hmm.
people if, especially if they know they have some issues coming up. It might be just a good month to pop in and
Right.
get an activation and some clearing. We do a lot of stuff around Reiki as well as inner union. That's a big
Hmm.
thing.
What's that?
People hear it as twin flame
Mm. Mm-hmm.
a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times, but
Mm-hmm.
I had an inner union activation um, where I am working on balancing my masculine and feminine energies. And basically, I have been shown that when I do that, I am able to birth something into the world that is going to help a mass amount of people.
Mm-hmm.
So we do talk about balancing your masculine and feminine energies as well, which a small example would be like the logical side of your brain is masculine. It keeps
Yes.
everything in order and it's very important.
Yes.
And then you have the feminine, which is a lot more intuition
Mm-hmm.
and floaty and emotional. When you have those in balance, that is a
Mm.
force to be
Yeah.
reckoned with.
Yeah.
And we live in a world, like you said, patriarchy, where we have shut off our feminine wisdom so much.
Oh, yeah.
We work on a lot of different practices to open up your feminine and to balance the feminine and masculine.
Yeah. I feel like much of my life I have been in my masculine energy,
Yeah.
and which many women have, right?
Hmm.
We've had to take on a lot. And it wasn't until recently, and I say recently, within the past year and a half, probably 2 years, that I really learned what masculine and feminine energy, what they are. And I realized, like I said, I will say this, it was and still is to a certain point very uncomfortable for me to be in my feminine energy. Although I am ready to release and just, and I know there's a balance there, but I just want to be able to just feel safe enough to be in my feminine energy.
Yes.
And it's uncomfortable.
Well, you look at it, every system that is set up
Mm-hmm.
is based in masculine energy.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
gotten to a point where it's unhealthy masculine energy.
Yes.
And because the feminine was never a part of it.
That's right.
So we have a world based on greed and I mean, because it's gone to the
Like,
point where, like, logically, the way our world runs, yes, you do have to, money has to make
Yeah.
things work.
Mm-hmm.
And, but if you look at our medical system
Yeah.
and insurance, and it's, it's at a point where it is too much on the, um, unhealthy masculine as
Mm-hmm.
a structure. And I wouldn't be surprised if not only that, but a lot of different systems completely have a tower moment, because they need to be rebuilt in a way that our love and compassion for individuals
Yes.
is balanced with the need for money and the need for paperwork and all of that.
Yes. Yeah.
Like it has to come together if it's going to be balanced and healthy and good for our people. And we have a
Yes.
lot of unhealthy masculine energy,
We do. I agree.
but the feminine's on the rise. That's all I wanted to say with
Yes.
that. It's
Yes.
rising, which is causing an ego death to a lot of masculine within ourselves, with our men,
Oh, yeah.
and with the masculine in our systems.
And I feel like the patriarchal system is like clawing and holding on for dear life right now.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's why things are so high, or certain things are so heightened right now, right?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and you bring up like money and greed. Money and greed, and I know you know this, but they're not the same thing. Because we do have to have
Yes.
money to
Yes.
make it in the world, right? And a lot of religion, we're taught that, of course, the love of money is the root of all evil, but that also puts a message in our brain or subconscious that money is evil,
Mm-hmm.
you know, or wanting money and loving money in a healthy way, because look at all the good that you can do with money. We have to have
Absolutely.
money's energy. It's just a tool,
Yes.
right?
Yep.
And so money itself is not bad. It's the intent behind it that's good or bad. It's like a polarity. Like we're all like we went all the way on one end of like all the masculine, you know, and of course we're an unhealthy or masculine, or we see that, right? And so women, for the most part, and this is not, I'm not talking like, this is not like an absolute. I'm not talking about everybody. We've had to step primarily into our masculine energy because we hold most of the responsibility in cases. And learning how to step into that feminine energy is
The
it,
world doesn't like it.
it does not
Or
like it at all.
it's just because,
It's
too, I
uncomfortable.
think, yes, because it
Mm-hmm.
would be a huge change.
Yes.
And there's some deep-rooted things that are, part of the feminine being suppressed
Yes.
with religion.
Mm-hmm. Huge. And we're taught that femininity, I can't say that word, but feminine energy is weak. For one, you know, of course, men as boys are taught, don't show your emotion, you have to be
Yes.
tough, all the stuff.
That's
Go
an
ahead.
interesting part because men are healing their feminine energy too. And
Yes.
that will be huge where,
Yes.
you don't, man or woman, you don't want someone going around crying all the time and
No.
not being able to regulate their own emotions. But yes, for so long, emotion has been a no-no. Don't
Mm-hmm.
do it.
Mm-hmm.
Keep going forward. Ignore what you're feeling. And that is a societal healing that we need
Yes.
to go through. And it really
Yes.
starts with each individual person.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely, it does. And women, on the other hand, like, I mean, if it's, you know, don't cry, don't show your emotion. I guess also, I mean, that's,
Yeah.
but and because and really one major reason is because it makes the other feel uncomfortable because they don't know how to deal with it, because we've never been dealt how to, like, we've
Yeah.
never been taught how to deal with our emotions, right? And
Yeah.
or I say deal with them, just process them, period. We suppress them, and that's why so many people are sick. Um,
A revolving door we have
yes,
here.
we're on a hamster wheel that we can't get off of, right?
We're we're solving world problems.
Yes, yes, yes. And I love it. And I do feel like you said, we're waking up to this. And so we
Hmm.
are really getting off of the hamster wheel now, right? Um, and I remember one major thing that I remember hearing in church was do not believe your emotions, don't follow your emotions because they will lead you astray. Our emotions, and I've said this so many times, but they are our inner compass.
Yeah.
They're telling us that something, and it could be good or bad, right? Something
Hmm.
feels great. It feels aligned when we feel really like when we feel good, we're aligned. But when we feel the emotions, anger or even guilt, fear and shame, we stay in that, frequency. Something's not aligned. So
Yeah.
what do we need to do to find out what it is so we can become aligned?
Well, and even this thought just popped up as you
Yeah.
were saying that, but something happens when you awaken and your heart opens to the duality of emotion.
Mm.
Like you can feel joy and sadness at the same time. It's
Yeah. Yes.
incredible. Like
Yes.
the complexities of human emotion is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're able to hold that space, it makes it easier for other people to feel exactly whatever they need to feel.
Mm.
Like there's a
Great
bigger
point.
part to that. Like
Yes.
whatever you're feeling is okay, and you don't have to get stuck on it. Like
Yeah.
you can sway a little bit. Like getting too far out is going to make you go crazy.
Yes.
But, you're holding this space, if that makes sense, to
Mm-hmm.
feel whatever you need to feel in there and
Yes.
learning to balance that with, okay, I feel this, and now I need to do this.
Yes.
Like there
Yes.
is a balance is a huge lesson for me. Maybe because I've always been an extremist, but
Mm-hmm.
um, there's so much beauty in balance.
There
Whether
is.
that's masculine and feminine energy and everything that lays in that, your strengths and weaknesses. Like,
Mm-hmm. Yes, balance is huge.
yeah.
Huge. So, one thing I heard talking about emotions, when we feel really strong emotions, we're used to suppressing them or reacting. We may get triggered and not understand how, like, to navigate that. So, I heard that the emotion that you're feeling, it usually lasts like 90 seconds
Yeah.
at the time, like when something happens, right? And so I started testing that when I heard it. And things that I used to want to react to or the strong emotions that I was feeling and I like wanted to suppress them, I allowed myself to feel exactly what I was feeling at the time. And and I just sat with it.
Yeah.
And I found that after about 90 seconds, 2 minutes, it was just my body released it, and then I was able to think clearly through the situation that had triggered that emotion, and
Yes.
that is so fascinating. It was completely fascinating for me to experience that, and what a great tool if more people knew that.
Well, and that is balancing your masculine feminine.
Yeah,
Your
good
masculine held
point.
space. It held space
Yes.
for your feminine to go like this.
Great point.
And when that happens, it calms and they work together and you're able to
Yes.
move on and it doesn't get stuck and heavy and all of this stuff. Um, yeah, it's a beautiful dance if
It
you allow it.
is. Yes. That's a really good point. I actually didn't think of it that way. Um, So enlightening.
I look at everything in masculine and feminine
I
anymore.
love it. I love it because everything pretty much is.
Yeah. It's a deeper level of healing than I've ever experienced, really looking at my own
Mm.
healthy feminine and masculine
Mm-hmm.
and balancing that out with, my strengths and weaknesses, and your family ancestral wounding comes up, and all of that. So it's just a really powerful practice to not get stuck too far in
Mm-hmm.
one side.
So, what has been really challenging for you to learn that balance?
Oh, like I said, I'm an extremist, or I've always been. I'm getting older now, so
Mm-hmm.
um, but I think just being okay with myself,
Mm.
and holding that space is
Yeah.
so huge, for me to figure it out, and feeling protected and honored, my feminine feeling protected and honored to have time with that.
Do you talk to your clients about that, like masculine and feminine energy?
Yes, absolutely.
What reactions do you get, or how do you help or help them navigate through that?
Um, the people I generally talk to about masculine feminine energy have been people who have come to me for a while.
Yeah.
So they get like, because we have, and I'll actually feel this in the body when I'm sending people energy, but the
Mm-hmm.
right brain, I always think of it this way, right? Feminines think right, right? Right
Yes.
brain, left body. Left brain,
Mm.
right body.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of times I'll feel energy go and it will get stuck somewhere.
Mm.
And so I look at and I'll ask the body, like, what in the feminine line is causing them issues. And
Yeah.
a lot of times I'll get a visual.
Mm-hmm.
So after the appointment, we're able to discuss that further. Your
Mm.
mother line, your father line.
Mm.
Um, so that's
Yes.
how I begin it. And I just work with their own energy and what it has to reveal.
I would love for you to go over the different services you offer or different groups that you have that people can join or schedule sessions with you.
Yeah, I do, like I said, in person and distance Reiki appointments.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a life coach. So I do an hour and a half session if they want to go deeper
Mm-hmm.
into, masculine, feminine, or whatever is uncovered from their body, so
Mm.
we can actually process it.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and then I have just sessions for relaxation base and energy alignment. That is the hour session. I had a full-blown Kundalini awakening.
Ooh.
So yeah, that's a whole different story. But so I can tap into people's energy field and feel where they have blockages, and I've learned with a lot of study and my own body, how to help people move energy. So I
Mm.
create an embodiment plan. Um, if you go to the doctor, they give you a pill. I give you a plan to
Yes.
using movement, slight energetic movement and breath, so that you can start to learn how to move the energy on your own.
Mm.
Um, and that's something, you don't see the results the first time, but you do that plan for 30, 60 days, you're going to see major changes in your
Mm.
energy field. Um, I also do readings, just distant readings where people send me a picture and I can read their energy field
Mm-hmm.
and maybe what is contributing to health issues. Um, I have the new moon group.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which we meet monthly on Zoom. And then I just got accepted to be a teacher with the International Center of Reiki Training.
Mm.
So I've been teaching Reiki for a long time, and I'm very passionate about that because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it gives somebody a tool to start practicing clearing and protecting and loving their own energy and space.
Yes.
So I teach Reiki classes, and I have a list of those that I will be doing. Like I said, I'm going through the program to become a licensed teacher through the International Center of Reiki Training. So
That's
super excited
incredible.
to offer that too.
Yes. That's
Yeah.
huge.
Yeah, I'm super excited.
Mm-hmm.
Got my first classes booked in Wichita, Kansas, but I will be teaching in Colorado and New Mexico, and I plan to have some online courses as well. So,
So, how long is the course? Uh,
uh, so like level 1 and 2
mm-hmm.
is 2 days, and it is about 16 hours, so about 8 hours each day.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but it's such a healing experience. As well as super educational so
Mm-hmm.
that you feel empowered to start using these tools on yourself. You
Yes.
will be your biggest healer.
Yes.
So,
I agree with that completely.
yeah.
So, if you could leave everyone with one thought um, about their healing journey, what would that be?
I have to go back to the mind and how you talk to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Treat yourself like you would your best friend or your child and
Yeah.
start talking to yourself. You mess up or you think you're not good enough. Change that thought or pattern and tell yourself um, that it's okay to fail. If you failed, it's okay. Like you'll
Yes.
do better next time.
Mm-hmm.
Um, that is loving yourself is makes you a different human. Um,
It
Not only
does.
for you, but as somebody who walks out into the world, you treat other people. In religion, we're always, what's that saying? Treat others the way you want to be treated.
Yeah.
I I seriously say love yourself like you want others to be loved. Like
Yes.
because it
Yes.
really starts with you.
Mm-hmm.
So, and breathing is free. It's free medicine. So sit in meditation and breathe. Oxygen
Yes.
does incredible things, and you know, nobody has decided to sell it yet, like on Lorax. It is free. Sit down and breathe.
I
Be
love
with
that.
yourself.
Yes. Nicole, this conversation has been absolutely amazing. Thank you. So I feel so honored to be able to sit and listen to your story and everything that you offer people and the lives that you've touched. You are one incredible woman. And I thank you so much for spending this time with me tonight. And this
Absolutely.
has been amazing.
Thank you. You are a natural at this. You have a way to make people feel comfortable. So
Thank
thank
you.
you so much.
Yes. And I actually would love for you to come back and talk about your Kundalini awakening.
That was an experience.
I've heard it has been for some people. Just I've heard their stories. I'm like, wow. I think it can be intense.
Just a little. Yeah, I would love that. We
That
can
sounds
definitely
good.
figure that
Well,
out.
let's plan on doing this again in the future, and I will have all of your information in the description. And again, I just want to say this has been an honor.